Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And this is Rob, still alive after being buried in the pet cemetery.
Also known as Galaxy's Edge. That's where they
Oh,
built.
man.
They built it over a pet cemetery, Jason. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been cracking me up. They're like they have like Mandalorian there now in the thing, and everybody is like being like, oh, blah 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 blah. One thing that nobody understands about that is Mando. I guess how they have it set up right now is if you're on the cruise, Mando won't show up on the cruise days. Not the cruise, but the Halcyon, the overpriced hotel for the rich.
The
I say
fake
eat the rich.
cruise.
I say let the feed the rich to the rancor is what I say. But in this one, so basically, if the Halcyon people will be there, Mando won't be. If the Halcyon people aren't there, Mando might be, might be. So is what it is. And
Can't wait for that Mando ride they're gonna make.
Probably.
It's
Dell
coming.
says moo ha 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 ha. And I have to read that because he's a channel member. So thank you for being a channel member, Dell. I appreciate it. I think everyone
That's why I'm on the show.
Is a channel member. Well, you said
You're welcome.
You said could I be on the show if I'm a channel member? And I said no. And then you just started showing up. So
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, white privilege.
And then your wife
Yeah.
bought you the channel membership and said, "Will you babysit my husband?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem."
Holds it over my head every day. Don't you have a show to do? I pay for that shit. Use this stuff. Well, yeah, we're paying. She loves to quote that line from Ghostbusters. Use this stuff. Well, yeah, we're paying for it.
Yeah. And Talking Sith became a channel member. Thank you, Talking Sith. I appreciate that.
Hey, really quick, everyone at the top of the show, if you just let me know how my levels are, I had to readjust them because then we got a new mic. So if I'm a little soft or a little loud,
I do think you could probably go down. I'm just gonna guess 5%. I could kind of hear where it's peaking a little bit in the signal, but it's not that much. But
I'll look.
Yeah, I usually go low.
How about that?
Well, they go high. I think that sounds good on my. It sounds good on my end, but
that sounds better.
They don't really.
I speak a little louder than most folks.
You know what? I'm a very soft-spoken young man.
I don't speak or I yell. Like that, I have no in between. I'm like Ren from Ren and Stimpy. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's fair. So really quickly, let's get into some news, and I'll probably retitle this episode after the show because we had something we were going to talk about from Mr. Bespin, but I think Mr. Bespin's going to hold that until he's holding it.
Jason. I gotta eat something here. Hold on. Nom, 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 nom. You saw that crow. Nom, 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 nom. Gotta eat some of that crow.
Why?
When I said there's no way Patty Jenkins or Kevin Feige's movie is ever gonna get made.
And, yeah, they're not getting made.
I was totally wrong, right?
You were totally wrong. Well, no, I mean, yeah, we've with those ones. I've okay. Well, we'll get to the article, but I've been under the sort of like when it comes to Patty Jenkins one that it's not happening. And when it comes to the Kevin Feige one, I've been like, it's going to happen when fucking Kevin Feige wants it to happen. And who knows, like, when that guy has time for that shit, you know? And I always
he's a little busy fixing the Marvel universe right now.
Well, he was also, I think that his movie was just announced as oh shit, we lost the Game of Thrones guys. Let's start announcing shit and hope we could back it up.
Yeah, 100%. That was it 2018, 2018?
It was like late 27. No, yeah, it was like it was probably early 2018 now.
Because I was out for a walk when I felt safe to still walk around here, before the evil virus, showed up. But I remember that was like within days of the Game of Thrones guys. Like,
whoa,
like we're not doing it anymore.
No, the Game of Thrones guys was like a year before.
But when they announced they weren't doing it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
when they after that Feige got the Feige thing got it. It felt like it was being
yeah. And that was like okay. I thought you were saying never mind. Anyway, Star Wars. This is from Variety. Star Wars shakeup: Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movies shelved. Taika Waititi looking to star in his own film. Exclusive. Now, is it his own Star Wars film? I think that's what it's going to say. When Jon Favreau stepped onto the red carpet for the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian. Oh, and this is by Adam B. Very. Adam B. Very good at scoops. Okay. When Jon Favreau stepped onto the red carpet for the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian on February 28th, the Disney Plus show's creator and executive producer was feeling nostalgic. It's been a while since we've all been all together here like this, Favreau told Variety.
Is that our Favreau voice? Can I do that?
No, you do the Favreau voice. But I'm just like, I don't have.
There is no Favreau voice. You need the visual. Because the visual is when he just nods his head and goes, "Oh, well, you know, I know." You gotta like, yeah, okay, well, maybe we've all been together once, but maybe it's hard to do that as a voice. Like,
yeah, it is.
Well, maybe okay, you could do that. You have to. It's like an improv, where you talk over one another. Like, was that Robert Altman, right? The Popeye Mash guy. He speaks like if those movies had a kid.
Okay.
So yeah, like that.
Well, so he's evoking the November 29th premiere of the launch of the show and of Disney Plus itself. It was before the first episode aired. At the time, The Mandalorian was a scrappy land speeder in the vast Star Wars galaxy, nipping at the heels of The Rise of Skywalker, the culminating feature film from Dr. J.J. Abrams that was expected just a month later to obliterate the box office like a cinematic Death Star. I'm gonna give him a little credit though to Adam B. Very. There's no like Star Wars is back. And there was none of that bullshit. And it got the House of Mouse. He didn't say that. So good on you.
Yeah. No toothy,
switching it up.
No toothy Abrams. No toothy Abrams.
Instead, The Mandalorian became a global sensation thanks to the incandescent cuteness of Baby Yoda. It's Grogu, you fucking idiot! I take everything back.
I like. That's my favorite bit in the first episode of Mando. Is when Mando says it's Grogu. His name is Grogu. Yeah. And Grief goes, yeah, whatever. Oh my, so good. The delivery a little
meta, but it was good. Yeah.
But it's perfect meta,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blasting Disney Plus into light speed with 26.5 million subscribers in the first 6 weeks. The Rise of Skywalker, on the other hand, imploded in spectacular fashion. The film earned just half the grosses of 2015's The Force Awakens and the widespread scorn of fans. On that one right there, though, that's a little bit different. Like, it didn't get to play out. And
every Star Wars fan gets the wide scorn of fans. Every Star Wars film does.
Star Wars movie development has been stuck in the box of Dagobah ever since. This is going to act like there wasn't a pandemic, though. Whereas
I like that, stuck in the Dagobah, though. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, fair enough. Whereas Disney Plus boasts a robust fleet of live-action Star Wars series, 3 streamed in 2022 alone. Not a single Star Wars movie has received a green light, let alone gone into production. But once again, that wasn't what they were trying to do. They were trying to do this Disney Plus thing at the same time. There was supposed to be something filming by 2023, though. Up until then.
They could have done with one less. They could have done with one less series, though, this past year.
Maybe.
Well, they could.
I mean, the problem is when they don't have content, people start unsubscribing. So the earliest a film... No, that's not that's what they want, Rob. They want subscribers. That's their business. Rob, you're just gonna go on this movie thing again, huh?
Bring back DuckTales. That's the brand I'm gonna go on.
Oh yeah, the subscribers to DuckTales were. I mean, I like DuckTales.
Goddamn right.
It was good, but I don't think it was bringing in subscribers. The earliest a film is rescheduled to debut in theaters is December 2025, 6 years after The Rise of Skywalker. Damn, that's crazy. Good thing that it doesn't really feel like it with all these TV shows, though, does it?
It's been 6 years.
That's when it'll by the time it comes out. By the time we hit December 2025, it will have been 6 years. It's not for the want of trying. In December 2020, Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy announced that Wonder Woman helmer Patty Jenkins would direct the next Star Wars movie, the one-off adventure Rogue Squadron. But in September 2022, Disney pulled the title from its scheduled December 2023 release, and a source with knowledge of the production say it is no longer in active development at the studio. A rep for Lucasfilm did not respond to a request for comment. You fucking cowards at Lucasfilm. Come on. I mean, give me a fucking break. Respond to that. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. We're going to announce movies, then we're not going to make them, and we're not going to respond to your request from the fucking trades about it. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Do your fucking job for once.
What if they did respawn, Jason, but they just sent a link to Wonder Woman 84? Like, is that enough? Like,
that would at least be a fucking response. I mean, all of their bad shit happens from their lack of communication. You know
fair
what
enough.
I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that.
why you have all of these grifters and alt-writers and shit who go and make up these lies about Kathleen Kennedy and bullshit, because nobody knows what they're fucking doing and they don't communicate. They have shit communication. Anyways, their PR sucks.
No, Jason.
Oh, hey,
Jason, I
dude.
communicate. We was Patty and I. We making NFTs.
Yeah, no.
NFTs. It's
No.
pictures of our little toes, Jason. You can buy them. You can own them.
No.
Want to buy?
I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
No, and I'm tired of you trying to interview me as Toe Rogan. That's creepy. In December, Jenkins said in a statement that she will still.
I'm half tempted, Jason, to use Dolly to create a Toe Rogan. I don't want to devote much effort to this.
So, in December, Jenkins said in a statement that she was still developing Rogue Squadron, but I don't know if it will happen or not. I'm going to say it's definitely not going to happen. Based off of this article, it's easier to say that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think once the window's missed, it's probably not happening. Meanwhile, Variety has learned that a possible Star Wars feature produced by Marvel Star Wars studio chief Kevin Feige is also no longer in active development at Lucasfilm. So I'm guessing once Waldron went over to do that Marvel thing, it was off. I didn't think that was. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be the case because there was so much time. I thought maybe he turned in a draft and then they moved on, but maybe the draft wasn't what they wanted. When news of Feige's involvement with a Star Wars film broke in December 2019, it churned up fan speculation, since widely debunked that he was in line to replace Kennedy as the leader of Lucasfilm. The movie remained alive as recently as May of 2022, when screenwriter Michael Waldron, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, told Variety that he'd start working on a Star Wars screenplay for Feige. I'm enjoying having the freedom of that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything, Waldron said. And for the record, people need to get over this whole thing that the last thing that somebody did is what Lucasfilm judges anything by. That's not the case, and it's fucking stupid.
What's his face wasn't fired because of regarding Henry,
No, regarding Henry's the J.J. Abrams movie from like.
Oh, yeah. But you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Book of Henry. Is that what it was?
Yeah, Book of Henry.
Yeah.
God damn, they will have Henry in the title. You can't fault me for that. I got the colors mixed up.
He was fired because his script sucks. 5 months later, Feige hired Waldron to write the script for 2026's Avengers Secret Wars, the Endgame-style culmination of Marvel Studios' multiverse saga. Between that project and the 19 other titles and counting that Marvel's announced for theaters and streaming in the next 4 years, Feige's responsibilities to the MCU are keeping him far, far away from Star Wars for much of the decade. So basically, Feige doesn't have the time. So therefore, it was always a fucking made up piece of shit thing that was never really going to happen. As for Rian Johnson, well, it wasn't. I mean, they obviously hired Waldron, but what's that?
I'm kind of glad because I've been afraid that they were going to get Peyton Reed to direct that Star Wars film.
No. As for Rian Johnson, the in-demand filmmaker has made no secret that he still wants to make the Star Wars movies he first announced in 2017 before the release of his film, The Last Jedi, and Kennedy has been clear that Lucasfilm still wants him too. But Johnson's immediate priority is continuing his Benoit Blanc movies and with Daniel Craig for Netflix, and season 2 of Peacock's series Poker Face with Natasha Lyonne. Is it Leone or Leone? I don't know. Will keep him occupied for the foreseeable future. By the way, Rob, are you watching Poker Face or no?
No, I'm watching Pele Face. It's the
Pele
Star
Face.
Wars. Yeah, it's his new series. It's Pele.
There was
crimes.
There was just an episode where Phil Tippett was like in a relationship with Kathleen Kennedy a long time ago, like in a work relationship kind of thing, and then Kathleen Kennedy marries Frank Marshall, but then Kathleen Kennedy kills Frank Marshall, and then she needs
Tippett's been wearing his skin ever since.
Phil Tippett to like make like a dummy of him so she could ask for forgiveness to him, but then it turns out Kathleen Kennedy is actually the killer, but it's not them. It's like all based off of them, and it's like at ILM and everything. It's It's pretty funny. So, anyways, so what's back to Variety? So, what Star Wars movie could slot into that open December 2025 release date? Sources say Thor: Love and Thunder filmmaker Taika Waititi continues to work on his possible Star Wars feature, and he would most likely have a part in it as well, similar in prominence to his standout role as an imaginary Adolf Hitler in his Oscar-winning 2019 feature Jojo Rabbit. And although Lucasfilm has yet to officially confirm it, sources say the studio is committed to a Star Wars movie from director Shermeen Obaid-Chinoy, a two-time Oscar-winning documentarian, Saving Face, A Girl in the River, The Price of Forgiveness, who made her live-action narrative debut with 2 episodes of 2022's Ms. Marvel for Disney Plus. Damon Lindelof, Watchmen, and Justin Britt Gibson, counterpart, were attached in October to write the script for that movie. Whether one of those films or some as yet unannounced project lands in the front of the line has been fiercely guarded secret at Lucasfilm. But sources say the studio will begin to unveil its plans for the future of Star Wars cinema at the Star Wars Celebration Convention in London the weekend of April 7th. That announcement, however, will compete with expected updates for at least 4 Disney Plus series, including the final season of the critically acclaimed Andor, new shows from Leslie Headland, The Acolyte, and John Watts' Skeleton Crew, and the first major push for Ahsoka, a spin-off of The Mandalorian and the animated series The Clone Wars, starring Rosario Dawson, that aims to debut in late summer. So for now, Lucasfilm's message to Star Wars movie fans: patience you must have. And
none of those announcements will be streamed, right?
No, that's so one. Here's something else. Here we go. We'll get into that real quick too. Can you see the image? This is from today. This is funny. Yeah. Hello there. Just so you know, thank you for reaching out to Star Wars Europe 2023. Upon checking with the show team, there is no live streaming of this year, and the event is full face-to-face celebration. Thank you. Have a good day. And then that's on the heels of this. As for fans at home, the return of Star Wars Celebration Live from London means you can catch colorful commentary, surprise celebrity guests, and exclusive interviews on the live stream with your host, Anthony Carboni, Christina Ariel, Christine Baver, and Jamie Stangrum. So basically what that tells us is they are not going to be streaming the panels. They're going to stream like this little like talk show thing out like on the show floor. So it's 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 not really the best solution, is it? So yeah, no streaming of the panels. And I'm sure a lot of people will get that confused and not understand what that means, but it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, so the trades are basically making it sound like it could be Taika's movie that's next, or it could be the Lindelof feature. And then what's his name? What's the guy from the Hot Mic? Snyder is saying, Jeff Snyder's saying it's not Taika's next, it's the Lindelof next. Yeah, and then the last thing that I heard was it was the Lindelof one next as well. So gonna think that most likely the Taika one will probably follow. That I think that's the most likely scenario here. But
if they cast David Hasselhoff, we can get a Lindelof movie.
Well, I mean, there's always the off chance that the writer, the writer's strike is going to fuck shit up.
Oh shit!
And everybody's acting like it's not a thing because it hasn't happened. But that's just human nature to be reactionary instead of proactive. And Disney is usually a bit proactive on this. Like for the live action Disney Plus television shows, they've been very proactive. That's why they made a surplus of them, because they're going to be able to weather that storm without a content interruption. And So, but what does it mean? Because we don't really have anything deep on what draft is the Lindelof. What draft are they on?
First
Are
draft.
they? What's that?
First draft, they go right to shooting.
Right to shooting from first draft. Yeah,
that's the Favreau way. You just write it, shoot it.
I suppose Book of Boba Fett, but no, I don't think the other ones. But
and Iron Man 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, Iron Man, fucking they're making up as they went, weren't they?
Yeah. I'm not being facetious. It's
no, I know.
There is a record of this,
Yeah, but when it comes to this Star Wars movie, I don't see how they could really do that without being like really far into it, and then you end up with a problem with like revisions, and it's like they're gonna have to. I think if they were going to go live and make that movie this summer, and when there is a actual like strike going on, they're going to have to allow improv probably to some extent, and they're going to have some performers who can improv at the same time.
Yeah, well, you just get Jonathan Hales to write some notes, little post-its, and it's good enough.
I wonder who wrote the Sandline, Lucas or Jonathan Hales.
Oh, John Knoll.
John Knoll. Could have blamed it on John Knoll.
Yeah. I blame most of this on Knoll, but
yeah.
All right, well, I gotta go back and play some Fortnite. All right, bye.
Roll saw Jay. I hope you don't catch any bullshit now that there's a Star Wars Celebration live stream. No, but they're not live streaming the panels. Like that's the whole thing. Do you really care what people are saying out on the floor, or do you want to see the panel? Like they're not going to show it. That's always what we said. The panel, what they've always said in the customer service thing is they're not streaming the panels, and that's what they're just saying that there's going to be that show. It's different.
Streaming wrong. That's a good one. It's a good take. It's a good hater take.
Well, no, but that's what they are going to act like, oh, there it is, it's there. But when the day comes and the panels aren't streamed, they're gonna be like, what? They're not fucking showing the panels, and they're not.
Yeah, this is like at BlizzCon. If you when you only see the people at the booth on the main floor, right, and they show the intro to everything, but then all the real discussions happen on the panels, and they don't stream those.
Yeah,
like you want to see the panels. Like, yeah, okay, the little intro bit's fun where they make those big announcements. But then when they do the Q&As, they ask all the people the stuff, and they got the artist there. They show concept art. That's where the real shit happens, like.
Yeah, so it's going to be like, in theory, Lindelof shows up at this thing. Wow, you guys just announced your new show. Yep, we did. That's going to be your celebration if you're not there and you're not in the panel. So,
did you see any more? Yeah, he did at the panel. Well, where is it? Well, he didn't stream it. Oh, I guess that's what Jason was talking about. They won't say that. But
no, they won't. They'll call me a fucking liar, an idiot, a dummy. That fucking wacky broad from Star Wars Explained will go, and then
you know what they'll do, Jason? You know what they'll do? They'll claim you said Chris McQuarrie was a Scientologist.
Hey, that was you.
That's not true. That's not true.
It was you. He said Ralph McQuarrie.
He said
Ralph McQuarrie was in Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. So. He was on Haley Bob.
Yeah. That's where he went. That's why he couldn't do the prequels.
Shit. Oh, 90s humor. Oh, so good.
But, yeah. And I know you get it, Farm Boy. Farm Boy says, yeah, I get that. I figured there'd be some asshole coming at you. Oh, there always is. There always is.
Sometimes
it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry, okay. Jason.
No, it's your fault.
Sorry, I do that.
It's your fault. All right. Can you see the story? There's a story up from bestmanbulletin.com.
I got to get through all his ads. Hold on. Yeah. No, I can't see it. It's not up.
It's not up. No. Stupid thing. There we go.
There it is.
Hawkeye and Palm Springs cinematographers on board for Star Wars series Ahsoka. And that movie was shot well, so this doesn't make me sad. You can buy Bestman a coffee. Nobody does, so why would you? In recent weeks and months, we've been learning who the directors of photography will be.
So mad
on the upcoming Star Wars series that have recently wrapped production or are currently in production. Hey, I mean, it's like I appreciate everybody who supports the show and supports Bestman and stuff like that, but like on this show, we're about to lose 1080p. I don't think I'm going to pay $500 for 1080p if people aren't down to, help with that, because I don't watch the show. I just do it. So if they want to contribute, then I'll keep it in 1080p. But $500 is a lot of cash. Just last week, we learned that David Klein, the Book of Boba Fett, and Sean Porter, Green Book, will helm upcoming Mandalorian spinoff Skeleton Crew. And before that, we discovered that Chris Teague, Only Murders in the Building, and James Friend, All Quiet on the Western Front, will act as the cinematographers for The Acolyte. However, one series we yet to learn the cinematographers of was Ahsoka. And that was until right goddamn now. It has been revealed that Odo Nemens, Otto Nemens, that Eric Stilberg is on board as one of the two cinematographers of the project. So it's been revealed by Otto that Eric Stilberg is on board as one of the two cinematographers attached to the project. Stilberg sounds like Spielberg, but he works out. Stilberg is probably best known for...
Sounds like the porn version of Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, here we go.
Max is like, oh.
I'm about to make that booty the color purple. Stilberg is probably best known for being the color purple. For being the cinematographer of well-known films such as the Ghostbusters Afterlife. So Ghostbusters Afterlife is a good-looking film. So I'm on board with that. And Dwayne Johnson led Baywatch. Oh shit!
Hey man, we all gotta work. Stop.
And 500 Days of Summer, which starred Zoe Deschanel. Man, this guy Bestman Bulletin, he just likes to talk about hot chicks. He just doesn't want to say it. You could tell. Like he's like, I don't talk about hot chicks, but look right here. He even put a picture of her. Like, look at her, and look like it's Ryan Johnson's little buddy. Spielberg,
it's Nick with no mustache,
also has a bevy of cinematographer credits for television work, including Eastbound and Down, one of the best shows ever created, Billions, and previously worked with Disney for Marvel Studios' Hawkeye series. And look, we're having coffee. Oh my god! As mentioned,
Purgle.
Yeah, that's a Mike Porter dad joke, and then that led me to record but not release Purgle Rain. As mentioned, Stilberg is one of two directors of photography of the Ahsoka series, with the other being Quinn Tran. The Tran's film work isn't quite as well known as Spielberg's, with most popular movie work being the critically acclaimed Andy Samberg-led Palm Springs. And like I said, Palm Springs has some really nice cinematography in it. With other past work, including Life in a Year, starring Cara Delevingne, and The Little Hours, starring Aubrey Plaza, my girlfriend, and Allison Brie. Tran is probably best known for her TV work, which includes two miniseries, A Teacher, starring Kate Mara, and Maid, with... Man, there's just too much stuff, Bespin. But yeah, look at the shot right here. Look, it's little Sam Burke, and he's like, I'm in a big old pool. The Ahsoka series is set to release this fall, according to series lead Rosario Dawson, and I'd expect a trailer to be released next month at Star Wars Celebration. And then you could listen to the Bob podcast, and you can follow him on Twitter, Hive, and Mastodon. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Don't follow him on Mastodon. Who fucking cares?
Which server? There's like 3,000 of them. It's like GameFly back. Remember those GameFly servers when you could rent your own game server? It's like that. It's weird.
Yeah, I know. I wish Mastodon was just a Twitter clone. We could just go like, bye Twitter.
Right.
But Dave Filoni on Ahsoka and his Star Wars transition from animation into live action. The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels creator currently has The Mandalorian on Disney Plus by Jermaine. Old Jermaine. Jermaine's a nice guy. For years, Dave Filoni was the Star Wars animation guy. He worked side by side with George Lucas on Star Wars The Clone Wars. That was followed by the first Star Wars project released by Disney, Star Wars Rebels. He also produced both Star Wars Resistance. Star Wars, the Bad Batch. But with the birth of Disney Plus, Lucas's protege began trying other things.
Santa's show.
He goes, Later this year, he's going to have his first full live action show, Ahsoka, which is very likely to continue the story teased at the end of Rebels. When Rebels was released, Filoni was predictably coy about what was next. He left a huge piece of story dangling at the end of Rebels and wouldn't say when or if he'd pick it back up. To briefly recap, Jedi Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn disappeared with space whales on Ahsoka Tano, and Sabine Wren teamed up to look for them. You can watch the video embedded below. But as it's now looking more and more likely that he'll be doing exactly that with Ahsoka, and in live action no less, we asked if he could tell us, was that the plan all along? Did he know Star Wars Rebels would continue, but in live action? That's an interesting question, Filoni replied to IO9. I would
like
say,
your voice better.
Because of working with Jorge, I have a possibility of working in live action where I'd never seen it before.
No, Jason, you got to say Jorge. You know what I'm saying?
Jorge.
Gotta be like, Jorge.
Emphasis on the whore.
What? No, Jason, don't be saying that. That's not what I meant. I just meant you got to pronunciate like Jorge.
Shit.
All right.
He says, I didn't know if there was something for me. But after working with him for so long and the way he taught me, and then Kathy Kennedy coming into the company, one of the first things she and I talked about was, is there potential for me to get exposure to live action? And what does that look like? And so, of course, that was right when we began.
She said my potential for exposure and what it looked like.
Yeah.
This is too much.
No, you're the Filoni dog.
Oh my God, I can't tell you. It's too
the
funny.
Red dog dick of the Filoni dog.
What is the potential of my exposure?
Okay.
Oh God, it's too easy.
So that was right when we began producing Rebels. The most important job I had at the beginning of this whole transition of Lucasfilm and Disney was to get that show up and running, to make sure that's a strong title for us coming out the gate. But, as I was watching J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson and Gareth Edwards and all these different people coming in and exploring live action, I was able, thanks to Kathy, to get exposure to that type of production and what that's like.
When he shot the Vader fight, right?
No, that's not
no?
Not true at all. It was incredibly exciting and interesting. Like I said, if there was any truth to it at all, maybe during like the storyboarding previs phase, maybe he like offered suggestions or something. But anyways, he goes,
it was something like this. He pulls out his big red stick and everybody just runs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like you're chasing them down with your big red stick, just cutting it and winging it around. Shoot it. Like just like that, right?
Well, that's what they used to call McCollum Mondays back when Rick McCollum was still there. Anyways, right. I mean, I love animation, Filoni continued. I love what I do there, but I think creatively as an artist, you have to be constantly pushing yourself into new ways of telling your story or expressing yourself through different mediums. And it became something that I was interested in. I just had no idea if I'd be good at it. It's different. And then Jermaine goes on to write at Gizmodo, where Filoni found a happy medium between live action and animation, a place where he could use the skills of one to get better at the other, was on a show that didn't exist when Kathleen Kennedy first took over Lucasfilm, The Mandalorian, created by Jon Favreau. There are similarities in the production pipeline Jon was working with, Filoni said. Thanks to his work on The Lion King and Jungle Book, there was a lot of crossover with what he was developing in animation. And so for me, it was a little different. It was a little more of a natural fit where I could get confident with that incredibly talented crew. So still, in all of that reflection, Filoni had yet to answer our goddamn fucking question.
I know, I was going to say, this is a lot of fluff here, buddy.
Did he ever consider that he get to continue the story of Rebels in live action as opposed to animation? At the time that I did the epilogue in Rebels, I had an idea of what that story would be. And it was definitely, so all of that, to just answer the question, I would say yes. It was definitely an option in my mind that, wow, this could be a live action could be live action if I go forward with this. So yes, he intended it for it to be live action the entire time. There were a bunch of rumored shows that were just made up. That wasn't true. None of that shit was true. But there was a lot of things that if he continued, which was, can I tell the story as well? What does that look like? What's the budget like? Who's going to play these characters? There are so many unknowns, but it was definitely on the table, as well as just continuing in animation. So he says it was on the table, but that's obviously because if they're going to tell the story, they're going to do it one way or the other. So he literally didn't really say very much.
And so that's how we got stuck with 20 seasons of the Bad Batch.
No, we only have 1.5 seasons of the Bad Batch. So why live action? So why live action over animation? And can he confirm that Ahsoka is 100% a continuation of Rebels, since we know for a fact that Ahsoka is in it, Sabine is in it, and Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn? He says, you have to decide what's best for the story. Come on, Filoni. They're fucking almost as bad as fucking Lucasfilm not answering the trades phone calls. And I think we found, whatever my story is about in Ahsoka, I'm very pleased. So no, he won't 100% confirm a goddamn fucking thing, but we all know. Yeah, we all know. And I didn't know John would be doing Mandalorian at the time when I did that epilogue Filoni added. That was all in motion, but I didn't understand Ahsoka's role on it, certainly. But I do know this time period because I grew up with a lot of expanded universe material in it. And so I think that's also been an influence on what the future holds for everyone existing post Return of the Jedi. So that's that story, And then this next little one that we haven't got to, it makes me happy. And it says the Mandalorian is finally giving everyone under the helmet proper credit. Something like early on, I was getting a lot of shit about from people because I was like, Pedro's not even in the suit most of the time. Pedro Pascal may be the big name on Disney's hit show, but he's only one part of the Mandalorian character, also by Jermaine. So the Mandalorian made a huge change for its third season, and maybe you didn't even realize it. It happened during the credits where all the familiar famous names are given prominent placement over the super cool concept art. Pedro Pascal, Katie Sackhoff, yeah, we all know them. Emily Swallow and Carl Weathers, sure. The two names who aren't familiar, Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder. Wayne and Crowder are not household names to many fans, but they're as important to the show as everyone else on the fucking list. There's two of the stunt performers who double as the Mandalorian on the show. Is Pedro Pascal in the armor sometimes? Of course. Is it always Pedro Pascal's voice? Yes. But for most of the stunts, fighting, and even lots of the more general on-set things, it's Wayne or Crowder under the helmet.
Yeah, when he just walks around and stands there.
When it came to Mandalorian season 3, every fucking day, me and Bespin talked like, hey, you got Pedro there yet? Nah, not at all. Like every single day during that production, he wasn't there. Why is it a big deal to see those names of prominent placement in the credits this season? Well, a picture's worth 1,000 words. And here's this year's credit. Big, bold, no qualifier, right along with the other key actors. And you can see it right there. You can see a little IG-11 going, my baby, give me back my baby. And then Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder. And here's the credit. Squishy. Here's the credit for the season 2 finale. You might need a microscope. And where are they? This is smaller than my dick. I can't see it anywhere. All right.
Can confirm.
Well, anyways, the old credit, which is the same place as has been since season 1 premiere, comes not only as the main cast and main production people, but also the secondary cast. And these performers play the titular character. Who wrote this? Bestman Bulletin? So to say it's an upgrade and improvement is almost an understatement. It's a huge, huge bump up the chain. And having seen the second episode of the season, we can confirm the credit is in that episode too, once again at the end of the co-starring section over a piece of concept art. IO9 has reached out to Lucasfilm for possible comment on the reason for the change, but we can sort of figure it out ourselves. Wayne and Crowder, as well as Barry Lowen in the final finale episode, are on screen just as much, if not more, than the other actors of the show. Just because we don't see their faces doesn't mean there aren't aren't crucial actors as well as stunt performers, and now the show has finally acknowledged that, which is nice because yeah, they're really playing the part, you know.
Yeah, show Dick some respect.
Hey, want to see a cool spoiler from the next episode of The
Yes.
Mandalorian?
Yes.
So this
Show me.
we haven't shown this. This has been out for a few days, but this is the Mythosaur's eyeball. And it says main imagination. Imagination. So
I like when they put that watermark right over the whole thing so you can barely see the image.
I'm pretty sure it's the watermark is actually like from the Disney Plus screener.
Oh.
The one that you can't.
Well, then I like that. That prevents anyone from leaking it early.
it makes main imagination's like, look, if we cut off the Gmail part, this could be main imagination at Hotmail. They don't fucking know. You know what I mean? You can't prove it's main imagination at Gmail because it's I mean, it's not.
It actually says Germain imagination, but they cut that part off. Like, thanks,
Jermaine. What are you doing, man? Oh, and we also got another spy shot of the pirate from Skeleton Crew.
I'm sorry.
Here he is right here.
So. Good troll. It looks like the Cookie Monster's weed cousin. You know what I mean? Weed
And then and this is from when the Batmobile came to my mall.
Is that from when the guy won the Batmobile and he was saddled with debt?
No, this was actually like the studio. I think this was like the studio just doing like mall promotions at that time. Because this I believe this is the one from Batman Returns, and it was like, come see the one that's going to be in Batman Returns.
Yeah, the only Keaton Batmobile I've ever seen in person was the one at Six Flags, the stunt one they would have there.
Okay, that might be the same one for all I know. I'm not sure though. Yeah. I took that picture when I was like 9 or something.
I seen that in close. I saw the Batman Forever Batmobile at Comic-Con in '95, which not impressed. And I saw the Batpod before the movie came out, or it was even known at Magic, a big clothing thing out in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And no one knew what the fuck it was. And I'm like, this is it. This is the fucking, because I had seen all the people filming, the sequences and stuff, online.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't think to get a photograph with me on it because you look stupid sitting on that thing. But it was fucking, I did get to sit on it. It was fucking
not like the Tumblr one or whatever it's called. They're calling it, whatever it was called.
The Tumblr was the main vehicle, but the pod was when it turned into a Kirabite, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
My buddy didn't appreciate it until 6 months later when the movie came out, and he was telling me, well, I got to sit on that. We were like, shut up. No one cares. Like, shut up.
I was on the set for Bette Midler's The Boys. I'm not kidding either.
I like Bette Midler.
I was at Vasquez Rocks. I'm like, I wonder what this movie said. Is this like an Arnold movie? And then like the security guard's like, you can't be here. It's a Bette Midler movie called For the Boys. And I was like, oh, okay.
I got to audition for Radio Flyer. Never got to meet Dick Donner though. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. The last time, hey, if you're gonna get beat out by someone, let it be Elijah Wood.
Talking Sid says, I mean, if I was Taika, I'd put myself in a Star Wars movie. And then Dell says, yeah, I mean, he already did that with IG-11. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, in Thor, he plays that one guy. So I would imagine that's sort of almost a given that he'd play something. But yeah, I never looked. Did we ever get it confirmed that he was the voice of IG-11 in the new episode? Did anybody check that? I'm curious. I forgot to look.
I don't know.
But yeah. So Rob he says Dell says you're on today. You're on one today.
Was I off yesterday? Like
I don't know.
I was all right yesterday. I mean, none of
Dell
us
says,
are on point like Azatru. Azatru's gotten down.
Dell says, I don't watch 1080p. I have mine at 366 and I can't read anything on the screen.
I wish there was a good videotape setting, on YouTube. You could just turn it on, you get like the cracks and the CRT lines and the noise, just build that in to any video.
We could work on it.
No, that takes effort. I mean, just let YouTube do it.
Star Center says, hey, YouTube, why I get no notification of MSW live streaming starting? That's because YouTube is the worst platform around. But unfortunately,
Twitter beat that by a mile this year, Jason.
Oh, well. I mean, come on. Hey, I'm just saying Vimeo for life, okay? No, I'm kidding, but there's not really a better option, is there? Santa's 30 minutes behind on the show. Come on, Santa, watch it faster. Dell says, and then she said, waving that thing around, what you want. And then, yeah, Dell says they're not going to kill the Mythosaur. It's the main character with Grogu for the next 800 years. Well, that's one of the things about that, like, to like be clear, we know like they go to it, like they go after it. It's like a thing, it's a confrontation later on. And what we're getting is like the setup for it. But we don't know for certain if they go to kill it, if they go to take a scale off its back, if they just write it and it becomes their fucking Falcor friend, like never ending story. I have no idea, like on that part, just that it, like I knew that they were going to shoot it. They were going to shoot the let's take on the Mythosaur. So yeah, what that ends up meaning. Well, then I saw, without being specific, got information about her having Mythosaur armor. So, there's a little bit of an assumption on my part that if they do something to make that armor. For all I know, they fucking beat the shit out of it and it shits a pearl and they make, the armor out of the pearl. I don't know.
They couldn't kill a gator. Like, how they take out a Mythosaur?
But that was the C team. You know what I mean? That wasn't Din. That wasn't Bo-Katan. It was a bunch of fucking like babies and shit.
It was like 100 fucking other dudes who couldn't do it, but these two could.
They're all new. They're all a bunch of new recruits and children. So that's why the armor has to jump in there and like save them. And then no, she jumps in there with her little things.
The cannon isn't doing anything. She jumps in with a hammer like that. That's great. Like,
yeah. But
I don't mind the idea of that sequence. The execution of it is a step down from Fuqua's previous work. I feel.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. It's like we know if Din was fighting it, it would have been like the season 2 opener. But once again, it's just not that. The whole thing is just to get him in there in the N1 and to blow it up, and to make the gag. Like it's a lot of ceremony for the gag. So. It's funny or it's not too, I guess, right? I mean,
good compositing though.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, a couple of the people flying around is a little bit like funny, but it's good though. I mean, compared to especially like what we had in the 80s, when you would see like the stop motion monster go in and you see, whoa, whoa.
I love in the Rocketeer when he turns into a stop motion doll when he flies. Like, I love it. Clearly, you could tell. Like.
Dale says the armor was about to take it out when Din came flying over the mountains. Yeah, she probably. I think the implication was that she was going to beat the shit out of it, But
with a hammer.
With the hammer, and I think she has like I can't remember. I think it's like a hammer and like a pickaxe, like a pointy thing. So
yeah, sure she was.
I don't know. I mean,
no.
You want to take this to the back pages of Wizard magazine?
Yes. To Palmer's picks.
Who would win in a fight?
Yes.
Who would win in a fight? The dog monster or the other thing?
Or Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I think it would be. God, these people. Yeah, here we go. This is the same guy. It's wrong. There will be live streams. And for fans at home, it's like, no, you're not fucking reading, dude. You're not reading. But once again, I would love to be actually wrong and them to actually just like live stream panels. Christopher Lloyd solos the Mythosaur. Christopher Lloyd's like, all right, everybody, here we go. I'm level 300. I've been playing this game for 79 years. Oh, Dale's all, it's a pair of tongs. Okay, yeah, see,
she was gonna grill him.
Hey, if Mr. Miyagi could take out some flies with it, maybe she could do it. I don't know.
He didn't. Daniel took out the flies. That was a whole gag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
I know.
But I always assumed he could do it though. Like it's fair to assume.
That was the whole point. He's like, he even said, "You ever do it? Not yet." And then he does it. Yeah, love that. Love that bit.
Yeah.
Do not question my knowledge of the first Karate Kid film.
Nope.
It
Hey,
is
don't get
pretty.
touchy
I
on it.
gave a kid
I
a.
believe you.
I lost my best friend. You know that to Karate Kid.
Yeah.
We just got done watching it. We went out to my backyard, and I tried to crane kick and hit him in the face, and he got a bloody nose, and I was so sad. And he never talked to me. And then he moved away. That was the last time I ever got to talk to my childhood friend
Yeah.
from preschool through first grade.
When I was a kid, my friend Robert didn't come to school that day, and he had some like holiday he had to go do, and I was like, "You crazy guy!" And I went like this, but my hand missed, and I hit him in the nose right here, and it just started gushing
Oh,
blood, and he was screaming.
dude, just like
It
that.
was
Yeah, I felt
it was
horrified. I've never,
yeah,
you
that's how I feel
know,
too.
but that's it.
Talking Sis says, could Lloyd be the leader of Bo's wayward followers, the leader of Mandos that never left Mandalore? I mean, it's possible. I got the impression, my impression was that I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Is that the what's her name? What's the wrestling girl? Mercedes Benz. She has some fucking new name. Whatever
Mercedes
her name.
Lane.
Mercedes Lane.
Yeah, drive
No,
license to drive. Yes.
no, whatever the wrestling woman's name is.
Cara Dune.
No, that's the UFC. I don't know the one who's with Axe Woves. There's Axe Woves, and then there's the wrestling girl, right? In
If you
Mandalorian
say
season
so,
2.
bud. Okay.
You know who she is, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks. So I'm the way I took it was Sasha Banks and Axe Woves. They went off and became marauders because they just stopped following her. And so I think that's who the wayward people are. Thank you, Dale. Yeah, Dale's like Sasha. Yep. Yeah, Costco Reeves. Thank you, Farm Boy.
Oh,
Costco Reeves.
Costco. I remember Costco.
Costco Reeves
Uh,
and Axe Woves. So
yeah.
I'm guessing that it's them. That's my take. But then what it sounded like from what I had heard was that there were two different other clans. One with, like I said, the white old crusty dude.
Be careful when you say the White Clan in Star Wars, Jason.
Yeah,
Just warning you.
that's what it is, though. It's the White Klansman, the White
Uh,
Mandalorian Klansman. And
okay.
then the other one is a dark-skinned, old, crusty, dark-skinned dude. And they're sort of brought together at some point. Whereas the implication being they were apart and separate. So my guess, this is just a radical guess, is that we have at some point Costco Reeves is beat down by Bo-Katan with they have the dark saber. They're like, get in fucking line. And then they Axe Wolves and Costco get in line. And then they're like, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is old crusty white dude, old crusty dark skinned dude, they don't get along. So we got to get those motherfuckers in line. Then they go and they get them in line with the armor. Now everybody who's around is there. And then I guess they go back, I guess, on Mandalore. That's when the shit's gonna start to go down with the mythosaur stuff and revitalizing it somehow. And then that's when Gideon comes into play. And then I'm guessing that there's going to be another episode that's basically just Gideon centric of Gideon's fools, the cloner and the bridge lady, getting him out of prison, getting the Star Destroyer, and then getting back to being annoying to the bad guys or to the good guys. And I think that if they're going to go back to Mandalore, Gideon's probably, this is also an assumption, but the fact that I know he gets new Mandalorian armor, a helmet that goes on his head, that he's going to make a claim for that throne. And we also have
Darksaber.
We also have that weird shit with the Praetorian guards and stuff like that too. So who knows how down the First Order rabbit hole this season goes, but there's some shit ahead. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and I don't know how it's exactly going to unfold. So we just have all these sort of disparate pieces, but it's going to be good. And then we got Ahsoka and we got Skeleton Crew, so it's going to be a cool year for the live action, side of things. Update: 8 minutes behind now. 2 times speed. Come on, Santa, only 2 times? Speed it up, man.
Doesn't he like it when we sound like elves? He used to always watch.
Oh, he
it that
likes
way.
it. He is into it. He's into it big time.
He's
He's like, you work for me now. Dale says, I beat my friends up too until Carl Mink. Then he came walking down Main Street and picked me up, both me and my other friend Kyle.
No, I
South Park?
never picked a fight with my friends. It was an accident. It was just,
God damn it, Kyle.
Philip never talked to me again.
Think you'll turn up anything for chapter 19? I doubt it, to be honest with you, unless they send out screeners to everybody but me, and then everybody but me tells me about what was in it, and best spin what was in it.
That's the best part about not getting a screener is you're not signed to an NDA, right, Jason?
Yeah, if they just gave me the NDA, I wouldn't leak a goddamn thing. That's the funny thing about it. But they want to play favorites, and it can be goddamn Willow, but not
They didn't even give you that shitty show, dude. So fucked up.
No. They gave me Willow.
Oh, they did. Okay, I thought.
Yeah, because they knew it was like telling me they weren't going to come in my mouth, and then they came in my mouth. That's how that Willow show was. Terrible show.
Nothing to add to that one, Jason.
Terrible. They just fucking blasted me. I felt so fucking used.
It's a family show. What are you doing?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, it was like
we're all family.
Came all over my man tits, and I rubbed it in because they asked me to, and then they were like, "That was Willow cum," and I was like, "Oh no it cum."
It's like copper tone.
And yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I really, really, really was looking forward to Willow too. And I gotta say, like, whenever fucking something goes a little bit wrong in Star Wars, like, somebody's like, Gorian Shard's not up to my standards. I'm like, fuck you. Go watch Willow, you son of a bitch. That's what I say.
I watched Solo. It's about the same.
No.
Yeah. It's getting progressively worse, isn't it, Jason?
No.
Just keep letting these guys.
No.
Keep letting these Kasdans in on stuff, right?
No. Willow, I think, is what happens when Dad helps. I mean, sorry. Solo is what happens when Dad helps. Willow is what happens when Dad's not there. That's my takeaway at the moment. But yeah, I'm just gonna forget Willow ever happened and move on with my life now. But we'll be back tomorrow after we watch the Mandalorian episode, and
that's tonight.
Yeah, we'll review it in the morning if you're cool with that.
Yeah, just not in the middle of the freaking night.
Yeah. No, you mean at 2 a.m. is what you mean, right?
No freaking way, dog.
No, like 11, like 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I'm up by 6. That's fine. I'm just not staying up for any show, man. I don't care any show at this point. I'm not staying. I'm not the midnight screening guy.
Yeah.
You go to that midnight screening and you can't even enjoy the movie because you're half asleep.
No, not me. I mean, I wake up.
Jeez, I've seen you fall asleep on these shows. Like you were with James, like just passing out once.
No,
like,
I get
James
energized.
fell asleep on the show.
I become a new man when the
you legitimately fell asleep, started snoring like Three Stooges.
I become a fucking powerhouse of energy when I watch the shows. I'm revitalized. Yeah. But the problem is when I stay up and then I do it, then I can't go to sleep, and then my whole week is fucked. So that's why I'm like, hey,
I told you this a year ago. I'm like, we're 40. We can't do this anymore. I know you don't like the show, but there's a great scene in Friends when they realize they're aged and they can't go partying anymore. They're like, I want to go home, have a cup of tea, and go to sleep.
You're making me want to defy Friends and stay up tonight and review the show.
Just ignore, once Monica and Chandler get married. Once that's done, just stop it. Anything past that's pointless.
If there's ever an episode that doesn't have that fucking theme song, then I'll watch that one.
There might have been one episode that didn't do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah? That's the episode for me. The one where they don't have a theme song.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song sucks.
Yeah.
You know what song is better than that? That fucking I would walk 900,000 miles. That song sucks. And it's
Crash
still
Test
better.
Dummies is my jam. He's
got
this song. Yeah, same guy, right?
No, it's not the same. No,
that's the same dude.
what was it? They weren't the the Pretenders is what do you call it?
So you don't even know, Jason. They're all the same.
No, it's not the same band.
But the Crash Test Dummies is a great song where he sings about the things he thinks about.
Proclaimers was I would walk 500 miles.
Where it's stuff that he thinks about during sex, and he starts singing about UFOs. Sometimes I think about UFOs during sex. It's great. It's a fantastic song, Jason. I think you should go back and revisit that one. Yeah, Meg finally caught up to your spooge moment.
Yeah. She's like gross.
Yeah.
Listen, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's Friends people and there's Seinfeld people. I'm a Seinfeld.
No, I'm both.
You can't be both.
I walk both.
If you think you're both, you're a Friends person. That's it. You're a Friends person.
Look, if I'm on my own, it's Seinfeld every day, but I can watch Friends happily.
You're a Friends person. It's too late. You've been sorted. The sorting hat has decided you're a Friends person because Friends people think they're friends with all the shows.
I'm the only one here who has their own real ending for Seinfeld all worked into the playlist. I think I'm more a Seinfeld person than you. So think about that.
What in the Ross and Rachel is a Seinfeld? It's your favorite show, Meg, if you don't know. It will be.
You know what the fun part about Seinfeld is all the cameos you never knew. Like when Bryan Cranston shows up and his wife from Breaking Bad show up in another episode. Yeah. And when Glennis McCants, numerologist Glennis McCants shows up in an episode of Seinfeld for one bit. Yeah. It's in the coat when Kramer's stuck in the store because he sells George someone his coat, and he's like naked back there. Yeah.
Dell says I was a Seinfeld before I was a Friends. Well, if you became a Friends, you're not a Seinfeld anymore. You're out of the cult. It's like the Mandalorian. Like once you take off your Seinfeld mask and you put on the Friends one, you're done. You're out. You can't come back.
I think my favorite episode of Seinfeld is just from that first season when they're stuck in the parking lot at the mall. They can't remember where they parked.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
Yeah, they got the goldfish. You know how true that was in the 90s.
They get fined.
You ever been to Horton Plaza? Horton Plaza was this mall in downtown that had a parking garage that the elevator would go to every other floor. Mm-hmm. So you get off the elevator and your car was in between floors. You could look through a crack. You're like, I need that floor. Like, I'm not on this floor. So every time that episode would play, I'm like, fucking dude, I had to go to Horton Plaza. Like, yeah.
And Rick Fitz was on Seinfeld too. All right, well, and guys, we're gonna call it a night. Yeah, and I'm actually Curb Your Enthusiasm is probably my favorite show.
That is you. Like I've watched enough of it.
Is better. Yeah. It is better.
Yeah.
But Talking Sith, good call. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to review The Mandalorian Part 2, Season 3, Episode 18.
Part 2.
Mando Verbs 2736. The episode is 47 minutes long.
And I just want to say, they really should make Jason Alexander Uncle Ben just to complete the Seinfeld Marissa Tomei bit in Spider-Man, right? Like they really should. They should have made Jason Alexander the dead Uncle Ben on the Spider-Man movies. Like that. Just, like that would have been so good.
Yeah, somebody put that on Twitter and I sent it. I responded to Bespin and I was just like, fuck you, man. Great stream, guys. Bye, everyone. Says Darth Maximus. And
later.
I'm gonna and Rural Farm Boy's gonna go fiddle around with the Discord. Do that, man. Do it. All right, everybody. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the Bad Batch if that's your jam, and we'll see everybody then on the flip side.
Complain about me in the comments. Peace.
Yeah. Everybody.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.